Fill up bank card.
On the way to office.
On the way to office.
A lot of the purchasers are actually looking for second homes, which is quite a big change to what we've seen in the past.
So, an air of positivity trickling down as well when we're seeing these the ultra prime and what that's doing and the impact it's having on villa rents as well. Is it sustainable, and if so, for how long?
Good question. So the short answer is, at the moment, our prime index is suggesting we've had growth of 70% over the last 12 months. Now, clearly, that sort of level isn't sustainable for a couple of years running. But it is healthy to see a slowdown in the pace of growth. We've done some analysis on the previous two cycles in Dubai in a paper we published recently called Dubai's COVID Comeback. And in that paper, we noted that the rising part of the previous two cycles lasted for roughly 4 or 5 years. And right now, we're only 2 years into our third cycle. So it's difficult to predict when the cycle might end. But what we have seen is that the cycles are getting shallower and prices are continuing to rise as the market matures.
Faisal, thanks so much indeed for your time this morning. Thanks also for getting up very early for us as well. Faisal Durrani joining us live from the UK as a partner, head of Middle East research at Knight Frank. Prices then be going up.
Your ARN News
with Etihad Airways.
Good morning, I'm Nadia Swan. One of the UAE's highest honours has been presented to the Chief of the Army Staff of Pakistan. A major project aimed at easing traffic on Dubai's Al Manama Street is now 67% complete, and Kenyan politician Raila Odinga has called on his supporters to remain peaceful after he rejected the result of the August 9th presidential election. For more on those stories, you can head to ARN's News Centre app.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on One.
with Service My Car. Book now and get 12-month parts and labour warranty with all service packages.
Your cash loses value if it stays under your pillow. Let Citigold's team of financial advisors guide you throughout your wealth building journey. Learn more at citibank.ae. Terms and conditions apply.
The UAE's #1 talk radio station doesn't stop for the weekend.
Tune in every Saturday and Sunday for our weekly highlights and specialty shows.
It's conversations you won't hear on any other station in the country.
Online at DubaiI1038.com and 103.8 on your radio.
The ultimate road trip, powered by Life Pharmacy. Get exclusive back-to-school offers across all pharmacies, including buy one get one free on vitamins for kids and teens to kick back into the school season. For the largest range of world-class healthcare brands, visit your nearest Life Pharmacy. Hit lifepharmacy.com or download the app.
Jumeirah now has easy access to world-class healthcare services from American Hospital Dubai. Yes, right in your neighborhood at Galleria Mall. Now advanced healthcare is around you. We are wherever you are. For appointments, call 800-243-92 or visit ahdubai.com. Live a little and go off script.
What would happen to us all if the internet went down?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we come in. They'll be tuning into radio. AM and FM radios will still function because of radio waves. We now have the biggest audience we've ever commanded. I mean, if the internet was actually working and we had this audience, we'd be laughing. But of course, they're only tuning in to find out why the heck they can't get on their mobile phones.
Weekdays from 5 p.m.
On the UAE's #1 talk radio station, Dubai Eye 103.8.
Transform your finance skills with the new part-time Masters in Financial Management from the University of Manchester and develop the expertise you'll need to build a successful career in finance and business. The highly flexible program fits around your existing commitments and gives you the opportunity to develop your global professional network. Start studying this September with 2 annual face-to-face conferences in Dubai. Find out more at manchester.ac.ae.
Get an end-to-end video surveillance solution for your business for just 69 dirhams a month with free installation and 3-month free rental only from Etisalat by E&. The solution is packed with features like advanced analytics, the latest range of cameras, heat mapping, instant alerts and much more. For additional information, please visit etisalat.ae/VSAAS. T's and C's apply. Etisalat by E&.
Agenda on Dubai Eye 103.8.
As the UK becomes the first country to approve the dual Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, we'll find out how it tackles both the original virus and the newer Omicron variant with pharmaceutical expert Professor David Taylor. That's only on the agenda from 10 a.m.
Hey, Ali, where are you going? Sorry, gotta run. Hey, Ali, do you want to, Sorry, gotta run. Ali, do you want to go for a jog? Yeah, if we run. When you run a business, you need a partner to keep up. Here comes the all-new digital business banking from Mushrek, NeoBiz. It's completely paperless with 24/7 access. Enjoy value-added services and tap all your banking troubles away. Sign up online in just 20 minutes at mushrekneobiz.com. NeoBiz, built for your business.
On Dubai Eye's Motor Mania, we've given expert advice to hundreds of drivers, and we're only getting started.
Motor Mania with Damien Reed.
He's got all the latest from the world of wheels, and along with car guru Matthew Davidson, he'll tell you whether to fix or flip your car. So pick up the phone and dial the Motor Mania hotline Saturdays at 10 a.m. and we'll get you and your wheels sorted and ready to roll with carswitch.com.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1.
With ADSS, the leading MENA broker. Visit ADSS.com.
Welcome back. Thanks very much indeed for your messages this morning. We've had Nazim writing in saying that there is a traffic jam this morning, Tom. Al Khail Road. He seems to be seeing a little bit of traffic. What do we know?
Yeah, a little bit of traffic for you on Al Khail Road this morning. The traffic is certainly picking up at the moment, but it's not at the scale that we've seen it in the past. But yeah, we'll keep you updated. Yeah, a bit of traffic on Al Khail Road, bit of traffic in the Al Jadaf area as well. Al Jadaf being caused by an accident.
24 minutes before 9. Here are your top business stories.
Business headlines on Dubai Eye 103.8.
With DP World, the global logistics provider, making the flow of trade smarter, faster and more sustainable. Log on to dpworld.ae to learn more.
And breaking news within the past hour, we have learned that Dubai Airport welcomed 28 million passengers in the first half of this year, up more than 150% from 2021.
Abu Dhabi's streaming music service Angami reporting a 29% jump in revenue. However, the company gave no update on its losses, and Angami's share price is down 70% since listing on the Nasdaq earlier this year.
The UAE topped the Middle East for venture capital funding in the first half of this year, according to research firm Magnet. It says the biggest deal was Pure Harvest Smart Farms, which raised nearly $200 million.
Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Wealth Fund has increased its investment in US equities in the second quarter, investing about $7.6 billion to staff up new stakes in 17 companies in tech, e-commerce, retail and finance.
Gas markets in Europe jumped 10% to as high as €251 a megawatt hour. That is equivalent to more than $400 a barrel of oil. Traders racing to secure supplies ahead of winter.
American Airlines has entered the next supersonic age, putting down a deposit for 20 high-speed jets from US manufacturer Boom.
And Elon Musk has taken to Twitter to reveal his next takeover target. I'm buying Manchester United, he tweeted overnight. However, most analysts believe Elon meant it as a joke.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1 on the UAE's #1 talk radio station.
Just a quick one on that, Rich. Jokes or not, joke or joke aside, he must know what he's doing. I mean, Elon ain't stupid. We know he's a little bit mischievous at the best of times, but we also know the weight that a tweet from Elon Musk carries, and we've seen that in the past, you know, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Tesla, whether it be Thai football teams stuck in caves, etc. His tweets, good, bad or otherwise, do carry a significant amount of weight, and they can rock markets, and we've seen that in the past. And it'd be interesting to know whether it has had any impact. We've seen that it's been retweeted and liked hundreds of thousands of times. It garnered a huge amount of reaction. I'm not sure if it's had any impact on the Manchester United stock overnight or not, but it's one of those ones where ordinarily tweets like that you would go, don't be so silly. But this is Elon Musk.
Exactly. And he's not only is he the CEO of a listed company in the United States, which is Tesla, but also Manchester United is a listed company in the United States. It's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and the share price has rallied over the past week because there has been takeover speculation about the company that a British businessman, Michael Knighton, might be planning, or it says he is planning a takeover bid. There's also reports that Jim Ratcliffe, the richest person in the United Kingdom, the chemical engineer, is a lifelong Manchester United supporter, is lining up a bid. And now Elon jumps in as well and says, I'm planning to take over Manchester United, even if it's meant as a joke. The Securities and Exchange Commission does not have a sense of humour.
No, I agree. It's just a strange. I mean, look, Elon Musk and strange go in the same sentence the best of times, anyway. But it's a strange one for him to be sending out. I mean, I didn't realise he was a football fan anyway. Even if he's not, then. But he'd have to be. As simple as that tweet is, he has to be a football fan, or he has to have been advised by somebody to write this in order to garner it. Because if he wasn't a football fan, he wouldn't know what the problem was with Manchester United at the moment. Because he tagged it onto the back of which way he was swinging politically, etc. So, verdict's out.
He said, because there was a tweet about his political allegiance, and he said, I like the left-leaning Republicans and the right-leaning Democrats, suggesting that he's a centrist.
Yes. Exactly that, and then off the back of that said, "Oh, by the way, I'm by Manchester United. You're welcome."
Yeah.
But if you're not a football fan, you wouldn't write it.
No, exactly. It's a football. I just had a joke. Big Rossi from Virgin Radio, walking down the corridor 5 minutes ago, had a chat with him because our three football clubs are bottom of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Manchester United, I support. West Ham United, you support, and Everton, he supports. All utterly useless. But we're British and we like football, so we get those jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elon's not of that ilk.
But when the richest man in the world, or when the richest man turns around and says that he's willing to buy, then, as you say, investors and markets would look at that and go, is he serious?
Another one of the richest men in the world has been backing a... I was playing it out live on radio this morning, but thankfully we got away with it. And Justin Bieber's Lonely, why we're playing that, not because the Bieber's coming to Dubai in just a few weeks' time, but because Ratan Tata, one of the giants of Indian business, 84 years old, emeritus chairman of Tata Industries, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Steel, much more besides as well, has backed a new venture called Goodfellas, which is trying to solve the problem of loneliness among 50 million old people in India. He launched it yesterday with one of his colleagues who works in his private office, manages his investments, and this is Ratan Tata explaining the rationale.
You don't know what it's like to be lonely until you spend time alone, wishing for companionship. I also feel that you don't mind getting old until you get old.
So he's founded Goodfellas, or he's backing Goodfellas, which promotes, quote, intergenerational friendships. It's essentially it's a Tinder-style model. It's a matchmaking model, but purely platonic, and to find younger people who are seeking wise counsel and whatever else you get from being in conversation with older people. There's that as well. With people of Ratan Tata's generation. He's 84 years old, and it is a business, so there is a business model there, but as you heard him say, you don't know what it is to be lonely until you spend your time alone wishing for companionship. They think there's a business model there, and let's see, we'll be following that one closely. Other stories you're covering today, can we talk about Zoom?
Yes, let's talk about Zoom.
And then my heart went boom, suddenly, and we were on the moon.
Wall Street concerned about Zoom at the moment. Obviously, a darling of the pandemic, a darling of work from home or work from anywhere, but the stock is plunging at the moment. As more and more people return to the offices or back to face-to-faces as well. In fact, let's have a look at the shares now. Zoom, they fell 5% yesterday to around about $108. Stock's now down nearly 45% this year, and is trading more than 80% below the all-time high of 589 that it hit in October of 2020, which wasn't that long ago. Extraordinary turnaround of fortunes for all things Zoom, and a strange one for me as well, because I thought it was just going to be, and thought it was, you know, we rely heavily on Microsoft Teams. I'm sure that businesses still do rely heavily on video conferencing, but such is the sort of changing culture again that the demand ain't there.
Well, is it that everyone's using free Zoom still?
Might well be that, yeah.
Because obviously Microsoft's got this behemoth organisation that generates money hand over fist. So if we all have a free Teams call, that's fine, because they're making money elsewhere. Zoom's a one-trick pony, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you don't have the, I don't know, premium Zoom, whatever it is. I don't pay for. Do you pay for Zoom? I don't pay for Zoom.
No, not at all.
The company probably does somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just it was great in COVID. Post COVID, not so great.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
With McDonald's.
Right, what did I mention earlier? I mentioned Jeddah, didn't I? Those problems still continuing. Accident just on the approach to Dubai Design District. The overfly there, or the flyover even there, tailing all the way back over the bridge into Masra, or Jeddah, all the way back to Festival City. It's horrible there. Akhel Road, heavy traffic for you there as well. Hesse Street's a bit of a mess. JVC, not great either. Oh, looks like the traffic's back.
Traffic.
With McDonald's. Thirsty for a new taste? Introducing the new Passion Fruit McFizz. Limited time.
Coming up on Dubai Eye 103.8 FM, the agenda is happening after 10 o'clock this morning, so in about an hour and a quarter's time. Steve has written in, been listening to some of the promotions for the agenda. They're going to be talking about the new vaccine from Moderna, and Stephen's got some strong opinions on that. If you've got any thoughts on it, join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a message.
Weather check.
With Air Arabia, book an affordable limo service online and travel conveniently between Dubai and Sharjah Airport, powered by Sayara. Visit airarabia.com.
It's another mixed bag of sunshine and clouds today, with highs of 38 in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah and Ajman, 37 in Al Quain and 35 on the coast in Sharjah. Winds of between 15 to 30 kilometres per hour and humidity between 50 and 60%.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on One.
With Canadian Specialist Hospital in Abu Hail Dera, ensuring good health for you and your family with 200 beds, over 50 super specialties, internationally trained doctors and state-of-the-art technology, keeping you well. Visit csh.ae.
Stories that make you smile.
With First Abu Dhabi Bank.
A pair of divers in Mississippi found a message in a bottle that has briefly brought back to life a dearly departed son who died more than 30 years ago. The message was from an 8th grader named Brian. Scheming how to reunite the author with their letter, the divers decided to post it on Facebook, where it was then widely shared and the parents of the boy saw it. Brian was a cyclist who beat cancer but then died in an accident at home at the age of 29. He was 11 years old when he wrote the letter as part of a field trip, then dropped the bottle into the river. It was tears and smiles when the divers met the family who shared stories of Brian.
Here's another reason to make you smile. At First Abu Dhabi Bank, get rewarded for getting paid. Transfer your salary to a FAB account and earn up to 5,000 dirhams cashback. Open an account instantly through the FAB mobile app or visit bankfab.com to find out more. Dubai Eye 103.8 is taking you on an adventure with the ultimate Dubai road trip.
Join 400 listeners as we drive from JA Hatterford Hotel to JA Lakeview Hotel for a family stay and the chance to win 10,000 dirhams cash.
Free fuel, free ice cream, free breakfast, free lunch, free dinner, and a free staycation. All on us.
Stay tuned to Dubai Eye 103.8 for your chance to cruise along on the ultimate Dubai road trip.
Powered by Al Rawabi Dairy Company, Apparel Group, Emirates, Igloo Ice Cream, Life Pharmacy, and StoreUs.com.
Setting goals and tracking their progress is key to investing successfully. See the fuller picture with Citigold's goal-based advisory tools and insights. Learn more at citibank.ae. Terms and conditions apply.
The UAE's #1 talk radio station doesn't stop for the weekend.
Tune in every Saturday and Sunday for our weekly highlights and specialty shows.
It's conversations you won't hear on any other station in the country.
Online at DubaiI1038.com and 103.8 on your radio.
It's your time to shine in a Cadillac. Don't just pull up to an event. Be the main event. Turn every ride into a victory lap. And don't wait for tomorrow. Drive it. Inside a Cadillac, the spotlight is yours. All you have to do is visit any Al Gandy Auto showroom in the UAE and own it. To find a showroom near you, visit CadillacAlGandy.com today.
In the fight against COVID-19, there's a key player in the Dubai Vaccine Logistics Alliance, helping ensure vaccines are delivered worldwide wherever they're needed. The name of this key player? The Jebel Ali Free Zone.
Dubai Eye 103.8 is on demand with specialty podcasts and the highlights from every show, so you can listen anytime you want.
Download our podcast now at DubaiI1038.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now is the time to set up your company in DMCC, the world's #1 free zone. Home to over 21,000 companies, DMCC has a thriving trade ecosystem built for you and your future. From flexi desks to offices in the heart of Dubai, we support your growth in our award-winning community, Jumeirah Lakes Towers. Learn more about our packages and make your company setup more affordable. Visit dmcc.ae.
The ultimate road trip, powered by Emirat. At Emirat, we prepare our Cafe Arabica coffee with freshly ground 100% Arabica beans. Combine that with a bakery, a sandwich, or a pinza, and start your day on a high. Available at all Emirat Bakeria locations. At Emirat, expect the expected. Time check with WEO Bank. It's coming up to 9 a.m. Created to reboot banking for everyone. Visit WEO.io.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1.
Get video surveillance solutions for your business free for 3 months, only with Etisalat by E&.
Welcome back. This is the Business Breakfast. It is 8 minutes before 9.
Currencies on Dubai Eye 103.8.
With insurancemarket.ae.
Right, bit of problem for the British pound at the moment. Remains vulnerable on recession fears in the UK. That job market report out of the UK yesterday and cost of living thing painted a pretty ominous picture for the UK. Beyond some substantial fiscal stimulus, Sterling's best hope is that the Bank of England delivers on its promises to tighten the currently price in the markets, or the aggressive price in the markets. GB at the moment, GBP, so British pound is going to buy you $121 US. Dollar remaining pretty strong at present. We'll keep an eye on that one for you.
500 employees to serve you. Over 15,000 Google reviews. For your car, health, home, life or business. Get everything sorted with super quickness. Insurancemarket.ae. Best deal guarantee. Call 800-ALFRED. Insurancemarket.ae.
You're listening to the UAE's #1 talk radio station.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1.
Stock Aviation now, and here from Paul Griffiths, the CEO of Dubai Airports, because this morning first half data came out for Dubai Airports. We knew it was going to be good, but until 7:20 this morning, Tom and I had no clue just how good it was. Paul joined us in the studio this morning. He had the numbers with him, and he did the big reveal live on air.
any doubt whether Dubai is back or not, these numbers tell you conclusively that we most definitely are. 27.9 million passengers in the first half, which is up 161.5% on the same first half last year. We had 10.6 million in the first half of 2021. So a really, really good result, and I think absolute proof conclusive that we've done the right thing at the right time, and Dubai is most definitely back on the map. World's largest international airport's never been in doubt, in my view.
Well, congratulations on those numbers, 160% increase. Most of us would take that. But we're still not back to pre-pandemic levels, are we? 2019 first half, we were almost 50 million, weren't we?
That's correct, yes. We're about 88% back. Lags in the transfer markets through Dubai, particularly in Asia. Chinese market, of course, is still pretty much closed, but I think some optimism that things are bouncing back fairly strongly there. I think it'll take a few more months for results to come through, but we've had to revise upwards again our overall projection for the year. And this is about the third time we've done it in the last couple of months. So we are now projecting something like 62.4 million compared to 58.7, which was the last yearly forecast, which is particularly good, I think. And we should be back, hopefully, to full strength sometime during the course of next year.
So, what are the key drivers? If we look at the main source markets, or the main markets that are driving that, what are they?
Well, the principal market remains India. It's always been our biggest market. And KSA is not far behind. We had 4 million passengers in the first half to and from India, 2 million to KSA, UK 1.9 million, Pakistan 1.7 million, US 1.4 million. Key destinations, London 1.3 million, despite the frequency cap imposed at Heathrow, which unfortunately has been extended to October now.
So the single busiest route is Dubai to London?
That's correct, 1.3 million in the first half, that's right.
So let's talk about how you're coping with this. 161% increase in capacity is great in some senses, but of course puts enormous strain on your operations to cope with that number of people. The stories, particularly in Europe, of airlines struggling to cope with this rebound are endless. So, you know, without being too sycophantic, Paul, what has Europe been getting wrong, and what have you been getting right, objectively, as someone who's run a European airport in Gatwick and takes no pleasure in seeing some of the challenges that Europe is facing?
No, it's obviously very difficult, but I think the biggest driver is the labour market in Europe in particular is so different to here. Dubai, I think, in particular, has been used to harnessing the power of different nations across the world and sourcing skilled labour from various markets, and we are well used to that, having been in place for many decades now. So we have basically done what we've always done, and that is source the best people across the world when we had to do it. Now, during the pandemic, obviously, we had to change our business model dramatically. We had all the same data that everyone else had, and we knew there was absolutely going to be a bounce back. We just did not know when that was going to be. But we were prepared, and the city here absolutely acknowledges that travel and tourism is the key driver for economic success. So you're never going to jeopardize that. So we did nothing to make sure that when the bounce back came, that we weren't ready and fully prepared to deliver great service in huge volume. And that's what we've done. And I hope that everyone using DXB will have experienced the fact that we've continued to provide the same level of service as we did, even if, and hopefully, some people have experienced better service than the pre-pandemic levels that we provided.
A couple of final questions for you, Paul. One story doing the rounds this morning that we're covering. Did you see this one? American Airlines yesterday signing a deal for 20 supersonic jets from Boom Supersonic. I mean, and they've written a check. They've put down a non-refundable deposit. I thought supersonic travel ended with Concorde 20 years ago. Is this viable? Is this something that you're looking at seriously?
Well, the interesting thing is the change in technology and the scale of the technology is very different now. I mean, Concorde was a design that actually was started in the 50s, so we're talking about half a century of further development, and the engine technology, I think, is going to be quite revolutionary. I think the only problem, of course, is the capacity is much lower. I think only about 50 people on the boom supersonic jet, and when we've looked at it in the past, one of the key limitations is going to be range. There's no point in flying supersonic if you then have to stop to take on more fuel. But I think actually over some distances, if they can get round the supersonic boom problem, which was obviously the problem with Concorde, I think it may have a bright future. It's not a small problem. It's not a small problem, and of course it precedes the aircraft. That boom is always present. That's why Concorde could only really fly supersonic over water where there were no populations. So,
have you ever heard the sonic boom? I never have.
I have, yes. It's interesting actually. I think there are parts of the world where you could be where over deserts and close to coastlines where you could hear the supersonic boom. And I've heard it from other aircraft as well.
And it's quite a thing.
It is quite a thing. It's a compression wave that precedes the arrival of the aircraft. It's quite an interesting phenomenon.
Sonic boom coming soon to an airfield near you.
With you anywhere.
Find us on the free ARN Play app. Download it now from Google Play and the App Store. Live from the UAE's #1 talk radio station.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on One with Richard Dean and Tom Urquhart.
Very good morning. You're listening to and watching the Business Breakfast. It is Wednesday, the 17th of August, 9 o'clock in the morning. These are our top stories this hour.
Yeah, Dubai Airport welcoming 28 million passengers first half of this year. That's up more than 150% from 2021.
Abu Dhabi streaming music service Angami reporting a 29% jump in revenue, but the share price remains in the doldrums.
UAE tops the Middle East for venture capital funding the first half of this year. 700 million in.
Coming up, we've got more detail on all of these top stories, plus venture capital, Tom.
Yeah, we'll be discussing that latest data from Magnet. UAE topping the charts in terms of venture capital, VC financing in the region.
Also getting at the thoughts of the guys from Emirates MBD on the energy crisis in Europe. First up, though, here is Nadia Swan with your headlines.
Your ARN News.
With Etihad Airways. Etihad Airways home check-in helps you skip airport queues, check in your bags, select your seat, and collect your boarding pass and bag tags, all from the comfort of home. Visit Etihad.com.
We are the UAE's most trusted source of information, with over 4 million people viewing and listening to our stories nationwide. This is your ARN News.
With Nadia Swan.
Good morning. One of the UAE's highest honours has been presented to the Chief of the Army Staff of Pakistan. President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan bestowed the Order of the Union, the second highest honour awarded to senior officials of friendly countries, to General Qamar Javed Bajwa in recognition of his efforts in strengthening UAE-Pakistan ties. His Highness reaffirmed the depth of the long-standing relations between both countries and their mutual keenness to continue strengthening them. A major project aimed at easing traffic on Dubai's Al Manama Street is now 67% complete. According to the RTA, the improvements will lead to an increase in the road's overall capacity and improve the flow of traffic at intersections. Motorists will also get easier access to Dubai Al Ain Road and Al Maidan Street. The overall construction work on the project is scheduled for completion during the third quarter of this year. Internationally, Kenyan politician Raila Odinga has called on his supporters to remain peaceful after he rejected the result of the August 9th presidential election he was declared to have lost to the Deputy President William Ruto. He's warned of a long legal crisis facing Kenya's democracy. His comments follow 4 of the 7 election commissioners saying they stood by their decision to disown figures announced by Electoral Commission chairman. The situation has raised fears of violence, with Odinga supporters battling police in the city of Kisumu and the capital Nairobi on Monday night. And in the UK, an audio tape from 5 years ago has emerged of Conservative Party leadership hopeful Liz Truss saying British workers needed more graft. Truss also says UK employees on the whole lacked the skill and motivation of foreign rivals. She was asked about the remarks during hustings last night.
Well, I don't know what you're quoting there, but the point that I've always made is what we need in this country is more productivity.
For more news and competitions, you can head to Aaron's News Centre app or Instagram.
Dubai 103.8 Sports
with insurancemarket.ae.
This week's BMW Golf Championship will be without 3 of the top 6 finishers from last year because of their defections to the newly founded Live Tour. Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson and Sergio Garcia are all banned from playing PGA Tour events following their decision to join the lucrative Saudi-backed series. US Open champion Matt Fitzpatrick says the trio won't be missed.
It's still incredibly fantastic field. The field this week is 70 of the best players in the world, and I think to only 3 of them that aren't here, it's not a massive loss in my opinion.
Ben Whittaker says he can't understand why people would write off Anthony Joshua ahead of this weekend's heavyweights boxing rematch with Alexander Usyk. The Olympic silver medalist will appear on the undercard in Saudi Arabia before his fellow British fighter attempts to win back his belts. Whittaker says everyone should be supporting Joshua.
You know what, Josh, when he's got his back against the wall, he always performs, and that's what I like about him. I'm not going to be the one to start saying do this and do that. He's a fighter and he's done things before, but I'm sure the whole of Britain are behind him, because if he does that, there's more big nights for us.
And that's your sport.
Take care of your family with health and life insurance. Have peace of mind and full assurance. Insurancemarket.ae. Best deal guarantee. Largest in the UAE. For you, your family and your employees. Call 800-ALFRED. Insurancemarket.ae.
Almost 6 minutes past 9 on the Business Breakfast. Let's look at our top business stories today. One of them on the commodity markets, Tom, you've been following. Not the oil price, but the gas price in Europe is going through the roof. 10% higher yesterday. Now it's 251 euros a megawatt hour, and no one's got a clue what that means. No. Can you give us some context?
Yeah, let's give you some confusing context before we give you some clever context, because the other context would be BTUs, and so
British thermal units.
British thermal units, yeah. So at the moment it's $9.42 per million British thermal units. Go figure. What we can tell you though is basically it's the equivalent to more than $400 a barrel of oil. And you know how we get excited when oil goes above 100. Well, imagine if it had gone up to 400, and that will give you a little idea as to why gas is making the headlines at the moment. The other question is why, and we are relating that to a well-known TV series called Game of Thrones, aren't we?
Winter is coming.
Exactly that. People need to stay warm.
Daniel Richards, a senior economist, Emirates MBD.
The rise has been driven, of course, by the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the retaliatory use of limiting gas supplies by Russia to those European countries that have initiated various sanctions against it for the invasion. The question everyone wants to know is how much longer can this go on for? And the worrying likely answer is that there is no end in sight yet. The conflict in Ukraine certainly shows no signs of a swift resolution from this point, and for the time being at least, European powers appear resolute in their support for Ukraine, meaning that they will remain exposed to any Russian retaliation in gas markets. With alternative energy sources going to take some time to establish, the prospect of rationing and shortages this winter is a very real one, that at the very least prices are going to remain sky high.
It's a big issue, in particular for Germany, Europe's biggest economy and biggest importer of gas from Russia. The ZEW Institute, which is a think tank, they've got a gauge of investor expectations, and it's at its lowest level in more than a decade, since 2011, where we were still in the grips of the global financial crisis. Here's Dan Richards again.
Now, the negative effects of these high gas prices on the economies there are already being very apparent in the data out of Europe. UK CPI inflation is set to come out later today, and expected to only just squeeze in less than double digits at 9.8% year on year. while German inflation drives 8.5%, with energy prices a significant driver of acceleration throughout the continent. And we also saw it reflected in the weak ZEW survey data for Germany released yesterday, with both components of the index coming in lower than the previous month. So the expectations measure fell to minus 55.3, down from minus 53.8 in July, so pretty weak there. While the current situation also fell from minus 45.8 in July to minus 47.6, so both coming in way below that neutral marker. And with persistent high energy prices set to continue impacting both consumers and businesses through the second half of the year, and rationing becoming a very real prospect, the German economy is going to come under concerted pressure and will struggle to expand.
Daniel Richards, Senior Economist, Emirates MBD. Also looking top this morning, one of our top stories, the economics of the Egyptian kroner Ahmad
Yeah, this comes after Angami have reported their latest numbers. The Abu Dhabi streaming music service has reported a 29% jump in revenue. Great. Let's all get excited. Let's all jump around. Yeah, I mean, you can, but there is a but. No update on its losses, and Angami's share price remains down at the moment, down 70% since listing on the Nasdaq earlier this year. February this year, we were shouting about them from the rooftops with good reason. It's a great model, it's a tech startup, it's attracted a lot of interest from good investors. It listed on the Nasdaq, it was a standard bearer, first in that front.
Because Nasdaq in the American Nasdaq, not the local Nasdaq.
Yeah, they travelled for this one. But it's just we're not seeing profit at the moment. We're not seeing earnings per se.
This is the thing, isn't it? Yes. So on the top line, the numbers are good. 29% revenue, boosted by that collaboration with Ahmad Diab, which they've done. And you've got also, I mean, there is some good news there. 40-odd% increase in registered users, and more of those users are transitioning from the free service, where you've got adverts, to actually paying to be a subscriber. But no talk about profitability, or a path to profitability, or unit economics. They just didn't talk about the loss or the profit in the news release that came out. We know that last year they did lose money, which is not unusual for a tech startup in its early years. You focus on top line growth and then you worry about profitability later. Worked for Google, worked for Facebook, and many, many others as well. So I get it, it can work, and I understand why they need to have that race for users. But I'd just like some commentary from the leadership about the path to profitability. They don't even acknowledge it in the news release.
Yeah, we're not seeing that at the moment. So if they're listening,
morning, which maybe they are, because they're based down the road in Abu Dhabi. This is the Business Breakfast Dubai on 103.8 FM. Nadia Swan's with us in the studio. Hey there, Nadia.
Hey there, Richard.
Can we get some more detail on some of these top stories that you're covering this morning, including this Indian embassy scam? We're getting lots of questions about this.
Well, what's happened is these people, the scammers, are using the Indian embassy in Abu Dhabi as a cover. They're sending out Twitters and emails, tweets and emails from fake IDs. And then what they're trying to do is collect money from Indian nationals. They're saying that they need help with getting from the UAE back to India. So the Indian embassy is asking people to make sure that they don't respond to these messages and to always double check the email ID and the social media accounts that to avoid being ripped off. So the embassy says the correct email accounts to look at all Indian missions and posts always end with the domain name at mea.gov.in. So all official email IDs, Twitter handles, Facebook IDs, they are all on the embassy's official website. So, do just check those before you think about sending any money to anyone who might need some help.
Staying in Abu Dhabi, quick word on the airport. Obviously, big focus on Dubai this morning. We got those half-year numbers out, but Abu Dhabi Airport also making headlines.
That's right. So they're also upping their services to passengers. They signed a deal with the Federal Authority for Identity, Citizenship, Customs and Port Security to make it smoother and quicker for passengers to get through their airports. So they've improved their passport check-in and passenger transit procedures by installing state-of-the-art technology. And so checking and verifying travel documents and entry permits at departures and arrivals is Abu Dhabi, you're going to find it much easier.
finally, let's talk about music. We've already heard from Amma Diab this morning, but why are we hearing from Elvis? Beatles versus Elvis debate. I'm definitely a Beatles guy, but you know, he's all right. Tom, where do you stand?
Elvis.
Really?
Excellent choice.
I can't make a choice.
What between? No, I definitely on the Elvis side. I actually share his birthday, by the way. My mum was a huge fan, and I do share.